Arms sales have been booming in Israel this last year.
People want to be safe, and people figure out that being safe is connected to having a weapon. By the way, not just firearms, pepper sprays, bats, things like that that can protect you.
Defense instructor Sharon Gat says business has doubled for him in the aftermath of May's riots and lynch mobs. Israelis simply don't trust the police to keep them safe.
And we like to preserve life, but at the same time, we like to preserve community lives, you know? If someone's threatening you, then you have a right to defend yourself, and that's what I'm doing here today.
It might seem odd, in a country where soldiers can usually be found on every street, why would civilians need to carry their own guns? But these scenes in May showed safety was nowhere to be found. And since then, a new wave of stabbings, shootings, and terror from the West Bank has rattled Israelis.
It's the last couple of decades. There have been attacks, there have been pogroms, and there's been violence between Jews and Arabs. I think it's preferable that someone with a weapons permit is nearby to protect themselves and the people around them.
When seconds count, police or the military can be minutes away. But for many Israelis, the reassuring weight of a weapon is a lot closer.
But in Israel, civilians with guns have been critical in ending terror attacks, most famously caught on video in 2008. A trend that made the Interior Security Ministry loosen gun laws in 2018 so that anyone who served in a combat role could be fast-tracked to a gun permit. Now, Israel has bestsellers.
Over here you have another Israeli company. This is called the Ramon. This is a weapon that is made here in Israel, in Carmiel, in the Galil. Great weapon. It's similar to the Glock, but it comes with better sights, better trigger.
The raw numbers are staggering. Israel's Internal Security Ministry says roughly 10,000 Israelis apply for firearm permits every single year. But in 2021, there were more than 20,000 applications.
Sadly, you can't have a soldier or a police officer everywhere to protect you at all times. Even security guards will not always be able to be there. And the ability for me as a civilian, as a person, to be able to protect myself and the people around me is, for me, on the personal level, is very, very important.
The surge comes at a time that Israelis are particularly concerned about a flood of illegal weapons flowing into Arab cities. Israeli security forces estimate there are close to 400,000 illegal guns in Arab communities, compared to just 150,000 legal guns for Israeli civilians. Those numbers have sent a clear message. Israelis are no longer willing to rely on the government to keep them safe.